Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Cheryl, and today we are going to make a bowl cozy. Now these bowl cozies are awesome for the winter months, but they're also really good for summer, as you can use it for a bowl of ice cream or bowls of frozen fruit. I really love these. So let's get started. Are you ready, Jerry? Come on. So today, some of the things you will need will be a ruler, an ironing board, or I have a wool mat, an iron, a rotary cutter. This is called Wrap and Zap. It is your interfacing. And then we are going to use fat quarters for and you need to be 100% cotton. And here's what they turn out looking like. Also, you will need scissors, some pins, and cotton thread. So let's get cutting this out. First, we're going to start off by ironing. Sorry, I had to make sure my video is going. We're going to start off by ironing the fat quarter because it's been folded for a while and we just want to get that out. I do want to say, if you're using a wool mat, uh, if you use the steam on it, or if you leave your iron on this wool mat too long and you're doing it on a cutting mat, it will warp your cutting mat. It will go right through this wool mat and warp it. I learned that the hard way. So these bowl cozies, I don't advertise mine as being microwave safe because personally I would never put these in a microwave. I had bought I don't know if you've ever heard of those potato sacks, and it was 100% everything, 100% cotton, but there was no instructions with it, and I put a baked potato in it, put it in the microwave, and it caught on fire. So I'm very leery. But these, I have one for me and my husband, and we use these every single time we have chili or soup, ice cream. I like to eat frozen fruit. It's just really good for that. And plus, it helps catch any droplets, when you're eating your soup and stuff. Okay, so what I've done was I ironed it and then I folded it in half. Now, this fabric that I'm cutting is going to be 10 by 10. So here's my top lined up, and we're just going to cut it across. Let's see. So here's your 10 by 10. Now I think I'm going to put this color, because you can flip them inside out. I mean, it doesn't matter, they're interchangeable. And I didn't want to use the same color, so I think I'm going to use this color. So as soon as I get this ironed and cut out, I'll be right back. Okay, I got it ironed, and if I didn't show you correctly in doing the first one, I just folded it in half. I don't think that's going to be 10. No, I need to fold it the other way. There we go. I just folded it like that, lined up the edge. Now this top part didn't line up, so I'm going to trim some of it off. Okay, now we're just going to cut 10 inches. By 10 inches. And I got a little stupid here at the end. Oh, that could have been a catastrophe. Okay. Now we have enough fabric to make 2 bowl cozies. So our next step is, this is called Wrap and Zap. It's made for the microwave. Again, I am not advocating to use these in the microwave at all. Matter of fact, I just wouldn't. But that's, I think if you read online about how to use them, you're not supposed to put them in the microwave for over 2 minutes. After 2 minutes, that's when they catch on fire, and it seems like no matter what you use. Because this picks up a lot of strings, and what if this is not cotton and it's polyester and you put it in the microwave and poof. So I really just don't recommend it. But these are easy to make. They're pretty quick to make. I'm just going to trim this top off because it's not straight. Okay, so out of the Wrap and Zap, you're going to need four of these. And you're going to cut them 9.5 by 9.5. Now I know some people say to cut it the same size as the fabric, but I find that it gets too bulky in the corners. And so if you cut it a little bit shorter, then it seems to work out better. So we're going to go, oh crap. I'm so sorry. I am not a professional. I've been sewing for like, I don't know, 20 years, 30 years maybe. And I'm just not a professional. I don't think this is 9.5. Oh, so close, but no. Okay, we'll be back. Okay, I got my squares cut out. And now we're just going to take one of these blocks and one of these squares. And you're just going to line it up on here. Not all the way to the edge, but give yourself some room. Okay, and now I'm just going to give it a press just to hold it down a little bit. Now you're going to need to take your pins and just pin it just in the four upper of the corners. That way, when you carry it to your sewing machine, it doesn't move all the way everywhere. And I've decided to use this color with it. This one's a little wonky. We're going to cut it. Okay, and then flip it over. See what I mean? If you've watched any of my other videos, you know that I'm not a professional and I'm not going to edit all this video. So this is me. This is how I craft. I absolutely love it. I've been crocheting for 42 years now and sewing for 25 to 30, maybe 40. But anyways, okay, let me get this pinned in place and then we're going to go to the sewing machine. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to make an X on these squares. I can show this. We're going to go from one corner to the other, and then we're going to do this corner to this corner. And if you want to, you can draw it on with the erasable fabric markers, but I just eyeball it. Make sure you remove your pins because I have that one actually blended in, and I have sewn over it before. Okay, and do the other corners. This is one of the bad points about having your cabin or she shed. Now I'm trapped and I can't get to the house. Okay, so yesterday I had this video all done and I went to load it, and instead of hitting record, I was taking pictures. So we're going to finish this up today. Okay, you've got your two squares with your X's on them, and now we've got to mark them to get the pleats in them. These pleats right here. So what you're going to do, you're just simply going to fold this over in half. And I'm going to pin it. And on your crease side, we're going to mark. So on your crease side, you're going to go this will be 1 inch. So you're going to mark right here for 1 inch. And then slide your ruler off, keep it even with this, and you're going to mark 2 inch. And then you're going to draw a line. This is where you need your fabric pin. And of course I can't find mine, so I'm just using a regular pin. And then we're going to do the bottom. You're going to go in 1 inch, and then 1 inch down here and 2 inches high, and then draw your line. And when we go to the sewing machine, you're going to sew on that line here and this line here. And I'm going to go ahead and get this one ready and do it also. Once we get these sewed, then we're going to come back and mark it for the other pleat. I forgot to add that when you're folding this over to make your marks, that you're lining this up just like that. Okay, now we're going to sew this. We are going to sew right on your mark, okay? And then you're going to sew on your other mark. Now we're going to take our scissors and we're just going to, we'll trim this off first. We're just going to cut this. Don't cut it all the way up to this, but cut it. I'll show you once I get it cut. About like that. You see my line? Or here's the other side, kind of like that. Okay, now we're going to mark the other pleats. So you want to take your pins out and you're going to reuse them. And you're going to fold it to the pleats in your corners. And you're going to mark again on your fold. Make sure your material is not all bulked up inside there, because sometimes it will get like that. So here's how we're doing it. You're going to mark 1 inch at the top, 2 inches on the side. And then you're going to draw your line. Same way here. Two inches, 1 inch on the bottom. Now this is my second run at the Bowl Cozy, and I thought I would try something different. If you notice, I actually trimmed, whoops, there we go, trimmed the corners of my batting like that. I just went across it just to see if it would help not be so bulky right here. So we'll see how that turns out. Okay, I'm going to go sew these and I'll be right back. Okay, now that you're done with sewing your darts in, we're going to put these together. So you want to have, if you can see this, I turned this one where the batting is facing me. This one is going to be like that. So your fabrics are going to face each other. And then you're going to go in and pin. Now also on this, you're going to want to leave a gap. Well, actually, you want to start with your pleats. You want to pin at your pleats first. I'm going to pin all 4 of my pleats. Okay, now now that you got your pleats all pinned, you want to start in one corner. Just throw a pin in there. And you're going to want to leave a gap because this is how you're going to turn it inside out. So I'm going to make my gap right here. Through here. When I start to sew around this pink or white topped pin will be where I start, and this will be where I end. So let's finish pinning and get to the sewing machine. So here's how I've lined mine up. See the 10? I don't know if you can see that, but I line my fabric up with that, and that's where I'm going to sew at. Make sure when you start that you do a back stitch so that when you're turning this uh, inside out, you're not ripping open your stitches. Now right here where I've done my pleats, there is a V. So you're just simply going to turn. And you'll sew right up to your X, where you put your X through, and then just turn. And you should be all lined up. Okay, now that we've got this sewn together, so it's not bulky, we're going to trim the corner, making sure you do not hit into your seam you just sewed around. So we're simply going to just trim it right up to it. You want to trim all your corners. Okay, now we're going to turn this inside out, or right side out, if I can find the hole. There we go. And this gets a little tedious. So I just go for a corner to pull it through. I think I made my hole too small. No. And you know, I haven't made one of these in quite some time. But when I was making them pretty hot and heavy, it didn't take this long to turn them the right way. But I just keep, oops, see, that's why you do a back stitch, so you don't rip your threads out. Oh my gosh. There. There we go. Now you're going to want to pop these corners out. So I use a crochet hook. And you just go in, don't force it, or you will pop right through there. And I will say, I do like trimming those corners of batting like that. That has made these corners not so bulky and a little bit more of a point, except for that one. Let me find my hole again. Okay, now what we're going to do, we're going to go back to the sewing machine. So we can stitch this up. So what you're going to do is try to place it over your batting that's there. Like so. And then just stick a pin in there. And it doesn't matter which side you sew on because it's interchangeable. And you're simply going to just sew all the way around. Start right here where your closing is and just sew all the way around this whole thing and end right back here. And that gives it, can you see this? That gives it this look, and it closes up your gap, and most of the time you'll never even be able to tell where your gap was. So I'm going to get this sewn and I'll be right back. Okay, one tip I want to give you when you're sewing around here, when you get to your pleat part, you really want to slow down. Don't go all ninja sewing on it because it is pretty thick right here and it can pop a needle, just speaking from experience. But this one is done. This one is done. So the cool thing about these is because you use different colored fabrics. Oh, I forgot to cut the strings. Is that you can have like this, and you can stack them. Well, I hope you enjoyed my video. At least I hope you did. And if you could leave me a like and maybe a comment. If there's some tips that I don't know about, if you could leave me some tips, I would be most appreciative of it. But I do appreciate everybody out there, and thank you. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Cheryl, and I am Hag-a-needle Handmade Creations. And today we're going, oh, mother pearl.